Okay, the clip that I'm about to play for you right here, bro. I mean, I just don't even know how to process this, guys. This is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. All right, get ready. I mean, you thought it was crazy before. She's going ape, bro. She is going ape. Here it is. So, first off, we are just a couple of days from Megyn Kelly's recent gaffe. And what was her gaffe? She was minimizing Jeffrey Epstein. Remember? She brought in some mythical friend that supposedly is close to the investigation. And she felt like she needed to tell America, well, my friend says Jeffrey Epstein's not really a pedophile. He likes the barely legal types. And she was talking about like 15. And it's like, 15 is not barely legal. 19 is barely legal. 15 ain't legal. And now I know people will say age of consent, but dude, I don't care what the age of consent is. If you're 50 and you are hanging out with somebody under 18, you are a child rapist. It doesn't matter what that age of consent is. That age of consent was created by a child rapist to allow you to be a child rapist. But the end of the story is 18 is adult. Period. Okay? Period. Okay? That's it. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts around that. And everything else is BS. But her calling 15 barely legal. But now, look at what she says here, guys. Watch this.
There is not a single woman who has said, yes, I was trafficked by Epstein to Trump. There's one who says Trump walked into a house with Epstein and allegedly fondled her upon meeting her. Okay, that's the best they have so far. And they're waiting for some sort of smoking gun in these materials. So I think Trump did his 180 because he had to. He knew he was going to lose it.
All right, let's listen to that one more time, guys. I know you're wondering, wait, did I just hear that? There's no way I just heard that. Yeah, let's listen to that one more time.
There is not a single woman who has said, yes, I was trafficked by Epstein to Trump. There's one who says Trump walked into a house with Epstein and allegedly fondled her upon meeting her. Okay, that's the best they have so far. And they're waiting for some sort of smoking gun in these materials. So I think Trump did his 180 because he had to. He knew he was going to lose.
Dude, so there's not a single woman who said, yes, I was trafficked by Epstein to Trump, but there's just this one who Trump walked into the house with Epstein and he allegedly fondled her upon meeting her, and that's the best they have so far. So Megyn, just hold on, let me check my facts meter here. So you're saying nobody said they were trafficked, but somebody is saying Epstein and Trump came in and Trump SA'd her. Okay, Trump assaulted her, and you consider sexual assault just like that's okay now? Trafficking bad, but sexual assault is just like, oh, that's like whatever. Like we're not even worried about that anymore. Dude, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Like this woman was like spoke up against Bill Riley, guys. Right? Like, what are we doing? And again, though, Trump, she says allegedly fondled her upon meeting her, but Trump himself has said he grabs him. He doesn't even ask. He just grabs him, right? They let you do it when you're famous. You know, you're so popular or whatever. Isn't that insane? Is that not the most insane thing you've ever heard in your life? It is like unfucking believable, bro. All they have on Trump is that he walked in with Epstein and he SA'd a woman. That's it. That's all they have, right? They don't have trafficking. They've just got this SA thing. Dude, that is some crazy shit, boss. That's where we're at. But dude, I cannot believe that Megyn Kelly, I just don't understand what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what her point is. You know, like that's the thing that I don't get is what is her agenda here? You know, why did she feel like she needed to go and like clarify that Jeffrey Epstein's not a pedophile, right? Like, why did she feel the need to, because she didn't discuss any of the other terms. She didn't say, well, he was a, 𝗙𝗍𝗍 or a 𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗫𝗑𝗫, right? A 𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗫, right? She didn't go into any of the actual terminology. She just said he's not a pedophile. He likes barely legal, but 15 is not barely legal. So she's kind of like, moving the goalposts to what is allowable, what is acceptable. I mean, I have a feeling I know why. Okay. I mean, she said it. Let's just look at this. Where is it? This is the clue, dude. I think she gave it away. All right. Because it's the very last thing she said right here, guys. Watch this.
So I think Trump did his 180 because he had to. He knew he was going to lose it.
Right. I think Trump did his 180 because he had to, because he knew he was going to lose it. So I think this relates to the person. I think the person she was talking about is an actual friend. I think she has a friend who got the scuttlebutt from Capitol Hill that the Republicans know there's some really devious shit in there. And so she was like calming the waters, trying to move those goalposts so when the devious shit comes out, they can be like, well, it's not really that devious, right? They're prepping for the gnarly shit that's going to come out so they can minimize it. Okay? That is what I believe is happening, is that she does know, she knows, 𝗙𝗏𝗏 definitely knows. And so, I mean, they're bracing because Trump did not want those files out. We know he didn't. If he wanted them out, he could have released them before the discharge petition. You didn't need to take a vote. At any time, he could have like drafted a letter and had all that shit released. Right? Megyn Kelly's views have gone down. Have they gone down? I would hope they've gone down. I don't know who would watch this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would even watch this stuff? This is, I mean, and it's weird because there's shit coming out, guys. We're kind of going through this because now everybody who ever talked to Jeffrey Epstein or everybody who ever reached out to him is coming under fire. And everyone's like, right, they're looking at 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗆 for her text messages. Ironically, they're not really giving Michael Wolff that hard of a time. Certainly not as hard of a time as the black woman. But like, dude, there's going to be people who interacted with Epstein who didn't harm kids. Okay, there are. There are going to be people who used him for dirt on Trump. There are going to be people who used him for money. Okay. And you know what I mean? And I mean, this web is complicated. Okay. It is. I mean, it's just like Harvey Weinstein. Okay. Harvey Weinstein's a fucking pig. He was an abuser for like 30 years. Now, I'm not going to stop watching Miramax movies. You know what I mean? Of my favorite directors. And there are directors I know who fucking got their careers via Harvey Weinstein. And like at the time, people just couldn't come forward. The guy had too much power. There wasn't enough institutional pushback. And I mean, looking at it retroactively is really difficult. Okay, because surely if there's a Harvey Weinstein today, there are going to be some people who are going to speak up. Okay. And so like, I mean, everybody's allowed, I guess, to decide where their dividing line is. But I just don't think it's an absolute. Okay. I don't think it's an absolute, guys. There's and what's more, guys, is we didn't all have all of the information. Somebody in 2018 didn't have the same information on Jeffrey Epstein as somebody in 2022. So you may have somebody who takes a business meeting with them in 2018 that just knows that he pled guilty to a prostitution charge, but they don't necessarily know about the whole extensive network. I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard. We're not going to be able to sift through it all. But this shit, though, this shit is like not even about having contact with him. This is about actively like saying, yeah, Trump essayed someone and that's all they got. Or like, yeah, no, these 15-year-olds are barely legal. It's like, dude, what are we doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing?